Hey, what's up everybody? I'm here, I got my Skyhunter out and I'm gonna do a video because a few people have asked me about it. So here it is, here's my Skyhunter. It's pretty new, only had probably less than 10 flights on it so far. But it's been flying really nice. This is my second Skyhunter. My first one I got for free. It was pre-crashed, as I like to say, but this one's brand new and I'm trying to take care of it. So rundown, I've laminated the wings, if you can tell, and I laminated the tail surfaces. It just, especially the tail, it really stiffens it up. And with the wings, I like it because it keeps the foam from getting beaten up, and also it just looks cool. I don't really know if it affects glide performance or not. You know, in my mind, it's a smoother surface, so there's less drag, but I'm not really sure if that's true. But then I got the Chinese decals, ripping those, and FPV lab. So I got a boo-boo here. I was flying formation with my friend, and I got too close to him, and he was flying a Skyhunter too. I came basically through here, and his prop gouged my wing, but I got out of it easy. He had to go hike to find his plane. But anyway, I'm running LawMate 2.4 with the ferrite ring up here. Pretty simple FPV system. And then I've got the gimbal. The last video I posted was a demo of this. I've flown it a couple times. The last video was the best performance I've gotten out of it so far. I'm having trouble with it leveling in corners, like when the plane's banking. I'm not sure if it's just the motors, the controller can't keep up, or if it's sensing the sideways G-force and thinking that's down because it's made for a multi-rotor. I'm not sure. But it's the RC timer gimbal, $99 one, and that's also the RC timer board, which I believe is a Martinez board. This is servo wire. I should probably put some lighter weight wire on that. I got this on eBay and it was pretty cheap, but it's been working pretty good. It's the first gimbal I've seen on a Skyhunter, and this is kind of a proof of concept. That's why I bought the cheap one off eBay. But the next version, I want to have a 3-axis gimbal, so there'll be another motor here and it'll pan, and then I'm gonna refigure this. I'm gonna put the video transmitter somewhere else. I'm gonna put my flight camera up here on a pan tilt, and then I'm gonna have both the pan tilt on the flight camera and the gimbal. I'm gonna have the tilt and also the yaw, the pan, will be tied into the flight camera. So hopefully for formation flying, that should make some pretty freaking awesome video. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, then I just have the Flight Evolution 360 degree pan tilt setup with my other setup. This is what I was running for most of the time. This is a really cheap camera. Kind of sucks, but this is the new CMQ 1993X, I think. But yeah, this isn't really designed for the Hero 2. The Hero 3 is lighter, but the Hero 2 kind of makes this vibrate. But this is a pretty big servo on here. It's a high-tech 81 MG, and after adding that, I got pretty much all the vibrations out of this. So this works pretty well. Yeah, so let me show you inside the Skyhunter. It's a really simple setup. Here's the power that goes to the gimbal, and this is the video. But then inside it, this is just a 12-volt step up because I'm running 5 volts to the LawMate off this. This is the Turnigy Beck that powers the FPV gear. Basically, it's just got underneath here is a Hobby King, the super simple OSD that just shows voltage and has a timer. Oh, that's why I was wondering why it wasn't showing RSSI, and it looks like because it broke off. So yeah, so here's the flight battery goes in here and it tells you what voltage. And then on this side I had RSSI from my receiver, but that broke off. This thing's been through a few crashes. Then on this side I've got the video in and video out. And then in there I've got 2 batteries. I've been flying with 2 of these in there, plugged in parallel. They're Turnigy 5000 milliamp hour 4S, and I run 2 of them just for the weight to make it more stable. And you see how far back in there they are, because with the gimbal on there, it moved the CG really far forward. So I'm gonna end up moving the speed controller back even further and putting Velcro even further back so I can move the batteries back. Because right now the speed controller's probably around here and the batteries are right here, and it's a little nose heavy with the gimbal. So I'll probably move the speed controller back here and then move the batteries even further back. But yeah, there's 2 of them, 2 of these big suckers, and it flies just fine. I've seen the guy who set the record for Skyhunters flew with 3 of them, 3 5000 4S, so it can definitely take the weight. It flies just fine with 2 of them and the gimbal. This is a lot of drag, so I'm going to end up replacing this with a carbon fiber. There's a guy in RC Groups who got rid of this arm over here, and he replaced some of these arms and the top and bottom over here with carbon fiber plate, and it made it really more compact and saved quite a bit of weight. So I'm going to be doing that. But yeah, this is basically my Skyhunter. I'm just using the Hobby King OSD right now. I got my eye on putting a Ruby in here, because Ruby's a pretty badass flight controller, autopilot, and it also has an OSD, and the OSD is really nice. So I kind of haven't done anything with this because that's where I'm looking for it. But I do have in here an Eagle Tree Guardian. It slipped out. It's kind of beat up, but just an Eagle Tree Guardian stabilizer, 2D, 3D. It works pretty well. I like the auto level mode and the 3D mode. That's basically the 2D, 3D. Auto level is nice for when you just need to get somewhere. You just gotta fly there, or when you want to put your goggles on or get set up. And the 3D mode is really good when you're flying in wind or like really aggressive through trees or something, because it'll cancel out all the crosswinds or the turbulence that you get and still let you have full control over the plane. But yeah, it's pretty cheap setup. I'm kind of a cheap guy, if you haven't noticed from my Scout B video and some of the others. And so I've got an RC timer motor. This is like a $20 motor. I forget what the specs were. I'll put them up in the video. And then I've just got a dive hull here that I made myself using the rigid wire. Works pretty well. But then one area I did spend some money was the servos. Got high-tech 65 MGs in there. Of course, repping the Chinese flag, of course. But yeah, so I've got the 65 MGs in all 3 surfaces. I've got a Castle Ice 75 amp ESC in there, and the motor is only pulling about 40 amps max right now, so plenty of headroom on that. So I'm also using the BEC off that, just because it's so underpowered right now. But I just ordered a new motor coming in. It's the NTM prop drive, 900 kV. It's one of the motors from Hobby King, and who knows when the hell that'll come. But that's on the way. Because with the gimbal, I just need a little extra power. So yeah, let me know if you have any more questions about it. It's a pretty simple setup. The Skyhunter, I have to say, is probably the best FPV plane I've had so far. It flies really good. It's sporty, and it's also really stable. Like the wings, I really liked flying the flying wings, but you can't fit a gimbal on them. You can't fit, well, a guy put a gimbal on a Z2. If you haven't seen that video, it's pretty cool. But you can't have the big pan tilt rig or anything else. And like with the wing, you got to slice up the wings. And this thing, I could keep the wings nice and clean. And also launching. I've never had a bad launch with this plane. I just grab it back here, just about right here, and then when I throw it, instead of throwing it level, I just pop it up as I go forward. And when you pop it up like that, and then follow through with your hand, and you'll clear the prop. A lot of people are scared of throwing these things because the props might get you, but I've never had it. I've never felt it come close or anything. You just gotta always be sure to follow through and pop it up rather than going straight. So yeah, it's a really good plane. I'm excited to do a lot of things with it. And yeah, so if you have any more questions, let me know.